Set? You're on. Good morning, it's Monday, October 4th, Tufton Borough Board of Selectmen's meeting. Begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have any public input? I have none. All right, move on to review and approval of minutes. Friday, September 24th, our last regularly scheduled meeting.
I'm happy enough with what I read.
Okay. I didn't see any
Nothing that jumped out.
corrections or changes.
Make a motion that we approve those minutes as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and then we have two sets of non-public. The 11:31 and
I'll
move approval.
move approval of the 11:31 minutes.
All right,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and then the 11:40 minutes.
Did we actually
Good
have
morning.
one?
I didn't think you were coming.
Did we what?
Did we? I thought you met with her individually.
I did, but,
Oh, so this is
This
just,
is
This-
a follow-up
yeah,
to
yeah,
our.
no, well, so this is what we talked about in our non-public, and then I met with her afterwards.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I do have an update, remind me when we get to non-public.
Okay. Those are both
So-
sealed.
Yep, they are both sealed. All right. Chief Thompson, come on down. You're here to talk about radios.
So radio-wise, after we got everything figured out as far as radios, what we needed, the end price was $122,121.92. We'll take that $2,121.91 out of the radio budget if it's okay with the selectmen.
How much you taking out? I'm sorry.
$2,121.92.
So,
And that's coming out of which budget?
Radio budget?
Radio?
So
and
you'll be buying all Motorola's?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the warrant article covers the rest?
so the
Yes,
warrant.
the 120,000
And
warrant
so-
article covers.
So we will charge the whole amount to the warrant article, and then we'll just have the money, we'll provide out of the other area for that money,
Okay.
right? In other words, it's a capital project, so it all ought to be charged to the project. We just need to make sure we have enough other money there. So earmark it, if you will, out of the other area to cover it. And this is, you had talked about like 2 levels of radios.
Yep. So we figured out that the apparatus is getting the 6,000s, the officers will be getting 6,000s, and all the other radios will be 4,000s. With the all the radios will have the mics that are heat resistance, because it's found as far as the firefighter wise that that's what fails, because it's on the outside of the fire gear. The radio is actually tucked in a pocket that is covered, but the mic is out. Those are a little more expensive than a normal mic, but that's what we were looking at to begin with anyways, just so that we don't have a failure with those.
Okay.
And the rest of the information as far as is everything else that goes along with the radios.
So the 4,000 is still gonna suit your purposes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. No, that'll work as far as everything. So.
Okay,
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
yep. So you're all set.
Yes.
Get them ordered and
Have a good morning.
thank you, Chief. Any other issues while you're here?
We have engine one that went in for service and found that it had an issue with the clutch fan that's in the motor. They kept it obviously while it was there because if the clutch fan fails, it'll take out the radiator and the other stuff. The parts are on order for it, so it's great to have the service and be able to catch things like
Yeah.
that. So, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, good. And so, we don't have Jack today. He's not in, I guess. He did submit a report in writing. 123 building permits, 28 new homes, 440 inspections. Townhouse painting is complete, has some pricing for some work to be done at the town office and townhouse, but no details. So,
So that would be for 2022.
I'm presuming that that's what he's doing at this point, so, yeah. So, probably good to put him on the agenda for our next meeting.
Okay,
I mean, it's great to get the information, but it's nice to be able to have a conversation too, so,
okay.
unless he's gone on the 18th as well. All right. Mr. Rule, come on down. What's going on up the transfer station? Busy, huh? Business is good.
This is good in the trash.
Yeah.
I don't really have any new numbers for you from 2 weeks ago. We haven't gotten our next bill
Right.
from Waste Management. I do have another application that I'll bring in Wednesday for Friday.
Okay.
And other than that, things are status quo. At a CIP meeting Wednesday, the library.
You said you did or you do?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that,
Chris and I had a chance to briefly go over a proposed spreadsheet on the income. And it looks good. The only thing, I kind of illustrated what the rate of travel was that he was working on, which means the amount of money that we could assume we might get between now and December. But I think if I were gonna adjust that program at all, it would be to try to get a flow chart going so that you know how much it slows down in the fall for C&D, for instance, or how much it picks up in the summer. So we can kind of get a better idea of, I mean, we're, I think, estimating somewhere around 40 grand, I thought it was.
yeah, it was looking like 85,000,
Right,
right, versus 75,
right.
so
But between now and the end of the year, I think.
probably
it's-
40,
Yeah,
45,000.
upper 30s, around 40,000. And it probably won't be that much because it's the end of the year.
Right. I mean, the easiest way to project is linear, right? The same amount every month. But we know in the trash business, it's
Right.
cyclical. And I don't know how good the past records are of this stuff.
Right.
But
And it may be that.
if you've got it there, then you can get a good handle for, we're 3/4 of the way through the year, and typically by this point we're 80% through the trash and C&D and that sort of thing. But
And the office can give you a report on what you submitted for money over the course of the year on a monthly basis. And it may be that we're creating the wheel, which is fine. 5 years from now, it'll be a lot handier than it is this year, but it's something we need to, it will make budgeting a hell of a lot easier, I think. going forward.
Well,
And I think it's a figure that, as I mentioned at the meeting that you and I had, it's a figure we can use in the budgeting process. So that if you have an increase in your operating costs, if part of that increase is offset by revenue, then we can illustrate it as opposed to just bringing in as a apocryphal story.
Yeah, I thought the beginning of the week was really slow. And then yesterday, I just had an impromptu count and it was $1,600.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's been a lot busier than I thought it was, you know? So we still have Tuesday, half Wednesday before
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure it's hard, I'm sure, like any other business, to try to figure out what impacting's that. But I brought a printer up, for instance, there's $5. I mean, that probably didn't even register. But if 10 people bring printers in or something,
Right,
it's
it makes a
50,
difference,
you know,
right?
Yeah.
it starts adding up. So we have, do we have a full staff?
Yes,
But you're bringing an application anyway?
right from another Britain.
Okay.
So I noticed when I was up there the other day, you now have signs up at the solid waste compactors that recyclables have to be in the recyclable building half hour before you close, so that you can close that process up.
10 minutes.
10 minutes before you close?
Right.
Oh, okay. I guess I misread it. All right.
10 minutes.
Yeah, anyway, so don't be walking up at 5 minutes before and expecting to put stuff in the recycle because you're already buttoning that up.
Well, we've had an issue over and over the summer with people driving in at 3 minutes of 4 with bins of bottles and cans
Yep,
and standing there sorting. And we're there until 4:30,
yep,
you know,
yep,
picking up, rinsing out garbage cans,
yep,
you know, and then going out and buttoning up the building. And
yep,
when you're there from 7:30 in the morning
yep,
on Sunday till 4:30 in the afternoon, it gets frustrating. So
yep.
we
It's-
close up the shop at 5 or at 10 of, and then clean everything up. And if they want, they can throw the stuff in the compactor.
Yep,
I don't think that's too much to ask.
well, right, and certainly in general, planning to arrive at the transfer station, let's say no later than a half hour before you close, helps everybody out. It's, you know, it's just like stores, the guy that walks in 1 minute before the store closes, right? And then he wants to window shop for a while before he buys what he's, it extends the day, so.
So we figured we'd put signs up to give everybody warning.
Yep,
You know, the transfer stations around us do the same thing.
yep.
So,
Well, if you're following a practice that makes sense, as long as, and continue to try and get the word out so that people aren't surprised.
and I put
Yeah,
that,
that would be a good thing to have in the tough to work
I
times.
put that in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So I hate to bring this up because I need a new boiler and it's supposed to come this month. It hasn't, I haven't heard from the guy, but do we have all our equipment winterized?
We like,
Backhoe, skid
we just
steer?
had the service, we're having the skid steer service
Okay,
coming up here, but we did have backhoe just service as a tuner for a little over $2,000, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. We had new cutting edges put on both of them. So the skid steer is on its way to being
Plow
installed.
box is all.
Yeah, it's all ready to go. Yeah.
Okay. Not that I'm hoping for snow,
Well,
Well, it's coming.
So-
but show up.
It-
whether
right,
it's
It's coming,
right.
yeah.
right. We may not want to hasten it, but it's going to show up eventually, so, and it's always better if we're prepared when it does.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Anything else for Chris?
We're good.
Almost set.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Oh, always. All right, let's go to the signature file. We have an intent to cut for 51,229 and 51,239.
I'll make a motion that we sign that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm
Yeah.
for. I'll catch up soon. I'm sure I will.
Maybe even before the meeting's over, right?
Well, I can't guarantee that,
Yeah.
but I'll try.
All right. And then we have yield tax levy of 46,215 in the amount of $1,442.
I'll make a motion that we sign the yield tax.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And finally, we have a corrected right of burial at the Town Hall Cemetery for Douglas L. Barker.
We had one before.
Is that,
How's that work?
that's right?
His name was misspelled. He has 2 S's at the end of his name.
Okay. All right.
So do we need to move, well, I guess we should, I'll move that we sign it.
I'll second. This has been a go-around for
This is the
us.
third time for this.
Yes.
All right, all in
Yes.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye, I'm for. We want any more than one body in that.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh,
The burial shogun.
yep, really.
You have no idea.
I'm sure you see a lot more in the sausage making process of that than when it comes here.
Yes.
All right. Action items. All right. So an email from Lakes Region Computer requesting to change our domain from .org to .gov.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and apparently this is due to some, .gov is a more secure something. All right. So, but there's no letter here for us to sign. Is that right?
Or do they just want?
So, all right, so they have a link to a template in here.
Correct.
All right, so that needs to be signed by the highest ranking official. All right,
That would be you.
so that would be me, so I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we have the chairman sign the aforementioned letter.
I'll second.
Any
that
discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, next we have Communication District Planning Committee. And I think they're looking for 2 representatives to the Communications District Planning Committee from Tuftonboro. And I think that was something that we approved at town meeting,
Right.
right? So, and I don't know if either of you guys have anybody in mind, but
I've spoken to a few people about it, or a couple of people about it, and, people that bring up the broadband issue to me, and I haven't gotten a yes out of anybody yet,
yeah.
but I think that would be the,
So I'm going to suggest that we post on the website that we're looking for volunteers to be members of the Communication District Planning Committee
yeah.
and see
Good idea.
what comes out of the woodwork. Maybe we have one sitting in the other room.
Maybe we do.
He's not paying attention.
Looking long.
It's called selective hearing.
All right, and finally, this is a notice of the Department of Transportation's 10-year plan presentations and review sessions. And they have them at several places around the state. Monday, the 18th 7 PM at the Franklin Opera House. Monday, the 25th, 2 PM at Plymouth Town Hall. Wednesday, the 27th, 7 PM in Laconia. So, and this is specifically to review the 10-year transportation improvement plan.
Lakes Region Planning is the
Lakes Region,
driving force for us in that, I think.
huh? They are, yep. So, I'm trying to think. I will. I could go to the one in Plymouth on the 25th. If somebody would remind me,
Mhm.
see what they have to say.
Thank you.
Hmm?
Thank you.
Yep,
Yeah, really.
all right. Correspondence. So, we have some emails back and forth between the Lochner's and Chief Shigori regarding the no parking signs that they are posted along Lang Pond Road. And I guess that's a work in process with respect to them. They're pushing back. They like having those no parking signs up. I had a conversation with the chief the other day. I said, they need to understand that they want no parking. They come to the selectmen and we go through the process if we're going to change the parking situation along that section of the road. So that's not finished, but there's some talk going on. I was down there the other day and the new signs look great. I would think they'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
You know, my take is they like their little cottage down there by the lake, and they'd like it even more if there wasn't a road there. But unfortunately, that's
A little late.
that's part of what we have is. All right, I'm moving along. Monday, October 6th, at 4 p.m.
No,
No, not Monday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, October 6th, at 4 p.m. The McDonald's in West Ospey, there's a recognition for Officer Gillis for her efforts in fundraising for the Child Advocacy Center of Carroll County from last year. So it's 4 to 7 p.m. on the 6th. I've got another meeting.
I'll probably be in West Ospey.
So 4 to 7 p.m. at the McDonald's, yeah, if you could stop in
I'll
there.
stop in.
Yeah. And if you could
If
stop
I can
in.
come and work close, I'm working 20 minutes from there and
Yeah,
drive right by.
absolutely.
If I remember.
Absolutely.
I
That's
think they
it.
expect that of us.
Yep,
Huh? Yeah.
I got that.
You got that?
Yeah.
All right.
Come in our local costume.
Right.
Yeah,
Blend
exactly.
in.
Yep, all right, so we have had a submission to the town website with a concern about disrespect to the flag at a location on Governor Wentworth Highway. So apparently there's a flag and some language that is disrespectful at that property. I'm not familiar with.
I don't know right where it is. I'll just take a drive, I guess, see what's going on.
Yep, all right. So notice of decision from the ZBA. Minutes from the Carroll County Commissioners meeting of September 23rd. and a response from the electric co-op that they don't have anybody, they didn't have anybody that could attend the meeting with us today. And requesting that responsible person call. So I will track down the appropriate person who I think is our account manager and see if I can get that going. Cyber risk management, from my report, that's blank, no issues. So
Right.
that's what we want to see,
Right.
right? All right. Selectmen's update. Selectman Albee.
I think the only thing, I went over the meeting I had with Chris. I had a separate run-in with her meeting. I gotta be careful with my language, I guess, in this
Touchy-feely world.
world that we have out here. One regarding the float plane and the other one regarding the road agent. I'm not sure I made my point clear with the float plane advocate, but we have one pier, public pier in Tuftonboro. So we need to triage the use of that pier to the benefit of the town. And I'm not sure they fully understand what that means.
Mhm.
So inevitably we'll hear from them again, I'm sure, but I did mention that Belknap was spearheading some legal conflict that was gonna come up. So-
Mhm.
And the town's not involved in that.
Right.
And then I spoke, and I think you spoke with Skip Hurt as well as I did. And it's sort of an interesting notion, and I've been thinking about it since I spoke with him, that we probably should, and maybe Jane is the person to put on this project, break down the billing of the road agent so we can figure out what's the equipment cost, what's the labor cost, what's material cost on an annualized basis. Because at some point in time, hopefully not soon, but at some point in time, Mr. Bean's gonna decide he wants to live in Florida or some other place than Tuftonboro. And we're gonna be needing to either attract a new road agent or take on the job ourselves. And in either case, we need to have a lot more information about what it entails than we currently have. And I'm not certain, I mean, Skip wanted to go so far as to budget according to it. I think that's beyond the reach of the selectmen when it comes to an elected road agent. But I think knowing what the actual costs are, we can discuss the budget that he proposes with a lot more information at our disposal.
So what I recall is we have a schedule that we're working from
Mhm.
with him, that his hourly rate for different types of equipment is such and
Right.
such. And I don't believe that has changed in the time that he's been the road agent. So you may be able to find it in the file in there someplace.
And it isn't so much, I remember that part of
Right.
it. And it isn't so much the rates that he's charging as it is, okay, how many hours did you use a backhoe for the town of Tuftonboro? How many hundreds of yards
Yep.
fill did you buy? How much hand labor was there? How much people, I mean, I saw them out this morning doing work on the side of the road. There's a lot of that goes on daily,
Mhm.
but I don't know that we have or I don't, maybe it's available, I don't have a firm grasp on it. How many hours is that? How many man hours is involved?
Yep. Yep.
So,
Well, and I know when he bills, the bill that he submits has hours and a description, but how fine the detail is on that,
Right.
yeah, I can't tell you.
And I'm not, well, I don't think any of us are ready to sit down with 365 invoices
Right.
and try to calculate it.
Right.
I think we need to put somebody on that to give us an idea. I'm not claiming for a minute that there's something untoward happening with the
Right.
road agent. I just think that we need to be a little more informed, especially going into budget season. We can ask the right questions, but it'd be a lot easier if we had all the information that we needed.
Yeah,
And that's about it.
okay. Guy?
I have to characterize my interaction with Mr. Skip Hurt as he discussed it at me, since he did most of the talking.
That's his man.
The points that Chip has brought up were all reinforced
Yeah,
in that interaction.
yeah,
Moving on. I had a resident come to my house yesterday. He and his son spent the night on Cow Island Saturday night. He's noticed that there are new survey pins, which he thinks may be infringing upon the town's property, but he's not sure what has been authorized out there for lot line adjustments and things for septic work. The other things he noticed were that there has now become a completely enclosed propane tank, which is illegal, and he's going to take that up with the codes officer. And then it appears that birch trees have been cut on town property, and there's a wheelbarrow and a splitting mall in that area as well. So maybe we need to somehow tell those folks that they can't use town trees for firewood. I'm not sure how we're going to go about that exactly. Maybe a memo to their association or whatever it is that they deal with. But moving on to more interesting subjects, that's brought to my attention that the sign at Tupac Lane is spelled wrong. It is, so we need to fix that.
The road is spelled wrong or?
No, it's Tupac. There's no C in it. We should fix that. We should also fix the one at the end of Lang's Pond Road, but my efforts over the years to get that done have received no interest at all. So we won't work with that one, I suppose. And last, and certainly not least, it's been brought to my attention that the American flag at the library is not lit continuously throughout the night. What appears happens is that it's tied to the street light, which is on a timer and goes off about 10 o'clock at night. The chairman of the trustees has been notified, and I'm sure they'll take care of that situation for us post haste.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't keep the parking lot lit, but
They'll figure it right out, I'm sure.
yeah.
Parks and Rec is meeting on Thursday night, and the chairman has stressed getting a budget ready. So I will definitely push a little bit.
I guess I have that to report as well. We have a budget meeting on Tuesday,
Yep,
so we have plenty of budgets for them.
Right, all those that we had gone through.
Yeah.
so one of the things, now that you mentioned Parks and Rec, I noticed that the Hawaiian canoe, whatever you want to call it, is still down
Yes,
at the waterfront, so that's something.
my communications there have, I wouldn't say they've fallen, they've been acknowledged, let's put it that way. That
Yeah,
if we're not going to use them, especially if we don't have the insurance, I'll get rid of them.
well,
I'll reiterate that
Yep.
again on Thursday night.
all right, yeah, as I recall, we did actually get an insurance certificate from this guy. The problem was he couldn't bring enough people together it takes several people to paddle one of these things, I guess.
Okay.
So anyway, whatever it is, the season's over. Even if they hadn't been using them, they're probably not gonna be using them now. It's a good time to get them moved out of here.
Yeah,
All right.
certainly before snow.
Yep. So let's see. Me. I had several things. All I gotta do is remember what they are. All right. So I had a conversation with Matt Sawyer, who's the town administrator in Ossipee. They'd sent us a letter about the possible need to repair the dam on Danhole Pond, and we had a good conversation. I mentioned the idea of a village district, which which certainly works well on Lower Beach Pond that has 2 communities involved. But the benefit to the pond accrues to the abutters to the pond, basically, primarily. And a village district is a way to target those costs to the abutters. He did update me on where they're at. The dam that they are doing some investigating now is not actually the Danhole Pond Dam. It's the one that's downstream right by Moultonville Road. I think it's on the other side of Moultonville Road.
Little Mill Pond,
There's
yeah.
a little mill pond there, and I guess that dam has got some serious issues going on. Anyway, I thank him for giving us an advance heads up about this, and so I think we'll see where it goes from there. He did ask about perambulation of the Ospey Tuftonboro line. I think you have that one for action, right?
Right.
With them.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I told him I get back from the spa, I don't wanna do it.
No,
Season.
no, I'm with you. So, anyway, we had a good conversation, and we'll see where, this is not an immediate need, but, and no real certainty as to if and when that dam will need work, but it may at some point down the road. And I appreciate the fact that you let us know ahead of time.
That would take out the shingle mill if it went. So I think that's on the same,
No. Ooh, actually, yes.
yeah.
It does, it falls right along behind Door Street.
Yeah, Andy Nichols Road area.
Oh, well, we're on update if I may, Annie Nichols Road.
Yeah,
A citizen came to me with a suggestion for the River Road area, that we could cut the bank back by the church and install a retaining wall similar to the one in Annie Nichols Road, because the church's property line really is way up at the top of the hill.
yeah,
He's also said that he had spoken with the church and they were not necessarily against that, but it would gain us room for maneuvering and parking. Obviously, it would be expensive, but it's something we can think about at any point in time. Someone's trying to be proactive at least, and I
Yep.
think that's a wonderful thing.
I don't know how much you gain.
I'm not sure, but apparently he seems to have researched it, and
Right.
he's of a good standing in the community,
Hmm.
and everything, so I would say he's done his research, but something to think about anyway. I forget about that. Wasn't high on my priority list. But anything that helps, you never know.
Yep. Next item. Last Friday, Brian DeShay and I began the perambulation of the Wolfboro-Tuftonboro town line. We got about not quite half done before I ran out of time in the morning. And as the weather permits, we'll go back and go after the other ones. So one thing that, when I went back and looked at the report from the last perambulation that stuck out, is that there are several points that are missing, markers are missing. And I think there were 3 that were identified last time. We found all the ones that they found in 2011, which was when it was last perambulated. But it would make sense to me that we would have new posts installed. I mean, it's great for the surveyor that did it, that said he didn't find a monument, but someday all the monuments are gone, and then you got nothing. So
My recollection that line's pretty well blazed, so it isn't that hard to, or it was up on my piece of property there, Mount Pleasant.
right, we were just working down in the Lake Pond area this week.
It's a little wet going.
Huh? Yeah. Well, we did not walk the whole line. We
Yeah.
found the monuments and worked our way into the monuments from the higher ground, rather than trying to walk through all the wet ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, it seems pretty straightforward to me that if we're perambulating and the marker is missing, and I don't know how long it's been missing, I didn't go all the way back through the file, that we would be proactive, engage somebody to put new monuments in. And that would require, of course, the agreement of both towns. But something to,
And were
Think
those
about it.
all, did the last survey do a sat nav?
yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
So all the points are delineated by the survey?
by GPS, with the exception of ones that there are no markers. And
Right.
then
It's a pretty straight line.
well,
except
yeah.
for a few places.
So the markers that are missing are all at corners,
Yeah,
not on any straight line.
Even worse.
Yeah, right.
oh, so the one up on
So,
Smith Hill and.
so the town line goes from a marker at the lake. There's a marker there, then there's a marker on the north side of 109, very close to the town line sign. Both of those were there. There should be a marker down at the end of that line at the lake, and that was missing.
Right.
Then it follows the lake around to a marker right by the shore. When the line leaves the lake, that marker's there. Then it goes from there out to the road, that marker's missing. Takes a 90-degree turn, goes up the hill, that marker is there, and then takes another 90-degree turn and goes way, way out in the wilderness, and that marker's there. So the two that are missing, one is the intersection of a straight line and the lake front, and the other one is a corner on Lang Pond Road. I think that wouldn't be the most difficult thing to
Yeah, at least
to replace,
it's
but-
accessible.
yeah. And then there's another one further up that we did not get to yet. But I'm going to suggest that we think about it. Once he and I get done with our work, that might be a time to propose, when we report out, to propose hiring somebody. It doesn't cost that much to get new markers installed.
Right.
A few $1,000s is my recollection, to have somebody come out and monument spots. And it's just, to my way of thinking, part of maintaining the line. It was interesting to me to note that, and the pictures are all in the file, that all of the natural markers that are in here were marked with red paint the last time,
Right,
right?
yeah.
The ones we saw this time, no paint left. 10 years, it's all gone. So
Wow.
just the natural,
Trees
progression.
shed their skin, so to
Yeah,
speak, and new
exactly,
stuff grows,
exactly.
bark changes.
So,
Yep.
so we've been marking it with red paint, and it's not gonna last forever, but at least it'll be there for a while. So that's the second thing that I wanted to mention. The third thing I'll bring up, we talked last time about the cell tower lease,
Right.
and when the payment comes in.
Yep.
So Cammy was kind enough to pull this lease notice out of the registry. So, and what it says is it shall commence on the earlier to occur of first day of the next succeeding month following the date that is 18 months from the date of the agreement, which was March 1st of last year. Or the first day of the next succeeding month following the date lessee is granted a building permit. So they now have site approval.
Whenever you can have mine.
They now have site approval, so once Jack gives them a building permit, then the beginning of the following month, they start paying on the lease. based upon what the discussion was at the planning board hearing, I would expect that they will be ready to go for a building permit probably late winter, early spring. Because
Well, we're
now,
gonna
now that they have site plan approval, they gotta do the engineering work and
right.
do all this other stuff, so.
Worst case scenario, they gotta start paying in September.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
18 months out.
That's right,
So we can still plug that revenue into 2022, I think.
right.
Are they paying monthly or annually? I think it's, I think it's annual.
Well, I don't,
Doesn't say here.
no, it doesn't.
No.
And, yeah, and somewhere in the file, we actually have the lease,
Yeah.
which one? So that's that. Ag Commission is meeting tomorrow. And they are on a trajectory to get their budget done for next year. A couple of ongoing situations they're dealing with. One is getting the gardeners to be sort of cooperatively running the garden rather than having the ag committee people doing that. And another thing, unfortunately, is there's been a number of incidences of people coming in the community garden and helping themselves to vegetables that other people are growing.
Right beside the police station.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully that they needed them.
well,
I'd like to think that at least eight.
yeah, yeah, so, discussions about some signage to put up to help people recognize that, you know, this isn't a come and help yourself thing. It's a community garden in that you can sign up for and have a plot in the garden and grow your vegetables there. But if somebody that's growing them isn't giving them to you and you're coming in there and taking them, you're stealing their stuff. And apparently one person was approached when they were taking the stuff and he said, oh, well, it's the community garden. Which is, you know,
Well, if it's a community garden in that sense, then we need to budget for that.
yeah, exactly.
Grow food for our community.
Yep.
But we don't do that
No, that's right,
Yeah.
that's right.
yet.
Yep. All right, I think that's all I have.
If I can backtrack just a little, could we ask the road agent to get the correct sign for Tupac Lane? Would that be out of our?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Maybe Cammy could ask.
yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah.
As long as she knows what to ask, so.
Yes. Tupeck.
C-K.
Any doubts, call the Melbourne Post Office.
How's it spelled now?
Tupeck.
Oh,
There's no C, huh?
Right.
Well, probably it's saved on
Yeah.
the sign.
that's the-
I still want to change Lang's Pond Road to be correct, but
and that's without an E?
no, that is possessive.
Oh.
Lang's apostrophe S as the pond was named and historically referred to, not Lang.
Mm-hmm.
Only because of history in that, and I think we lose too much of our history through the well-meaning efforts of some folks.
Oh, I do have one more item.
Put a warrant article together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I did have a conversation with the road agent regarding the ramp at Mirror Lake, and he's already taken care of it. Put
Good.
down riprap with a little
Excellent.
little fill in between the riprap, just make it a surface somebody could drive on. And we also had a conversation about I just lost it. The hill on Canaan
Okay.
Road and the shimming. Remember, we had a quote for shimming in there, and he talked about how difficult it was in the wintertime with the ruts in there. So to do the shim coat now, is a little bit more than in connection with another project. But he talked with Carol. They can get to it before winter. Need $18,000 to shim coat that hill, which would help with the winter maintenance and is sort of a first step toward doing the overlay that we talked about. So I told him I would discuss it with the board. The paving warrant article is done. I mean, he's used up all of the money in that. He tells me. I didn't.
So as of the, I'm sorry, Phil.
Go ahead.
As of the 29th of September, he had 12,500 apron paving that he hadn't spent.
Exactly. That's what I was looking at this morning.
Yeah.
So-
If you combine that with a crack seal, you get $20,000.
Yep. So what I was gonna suggest is that we tell him that I hate to see the crack sealing not get done, because that's in some of the roads that are
All right.
not so bad, but if we were to tell him that he could go ahead and do that job, as long as he used his apron paving money, and then we would find money someplace else for the other $5,500.
Yeah. I was thinking there might be some money in winter maintenance, but there really isn't.
No, well, I think it would be, it would not be wise of us to assume that there's gonna be extra money in winter maintenance available.
He's got, and this is only the 29th of September, but there's 34,000 left in fall maintenance.
Right.
So I think he's got room enough
Yep,
even to do a little crack
Yeah.
sealing.
yep,
What was it, $18,000?
18,000, right,
So, yeah, I mean, he could do $5,000 worth of crack sealing,
yep,
zero off the crack sealing budget, and then impact the fall maintenance budget, and also take the apron paving and do the.
yep,
you know,
all right.
that work.
So I will tell him then to go ahead and schedule that, and we'll work out of those areas. All right, I think that's it for me. Administrative secretary updates, we already talked about. The CoOp couldn't come see us today. The lease agreement, Times article went out on Friday. We do have a couple of non-publics. Any other business?
And there was, I thought there was some discussion of another budget that was gonna come in today. Was there any new budget that came in?
No.
Okay. I'll stop.
All right.
Administrative office.
All right, any public questions or input?
I have a question for Chip, if you don't mind,
Why me?
because,
Go ahead.
excuse me, I'm having a senior moment. Okay, the question to Chip is, do you think the budget committee is ever going to return to this room to hold its hearings? But they're gonna continue up
Oh,
the
we
hill?
did. The last meeting was in this room, and I believe that tomorrow's meeting is here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think so when I thought I looked at it. I didn't know that. So I missed the first one, which was just an organizational meeting. Is that correct? The first one? Okay, irregardless.
I don't believe there were any votes on budgets at that meeting.
Okay, so it's tomorrow night here.
You can double check or have Cammy double check with Gordon, but I'm pretty sure it's here.
Okay, no, that's all I wanna know.
Okay.
Thank you.
And planning board meets on Thursday night, their first Thursday meeting. I'm not aware of any particular issues for this week. Don't think that we have any applications.
And how's the master plan happening? Is that happening?
It is, yep. It's,
Sort of conversational governing here.
yeah, that's right, that's right. I can't remember the exact schedule, but I think before the end of the year, the draft master plan will be complete and ready for hearing. All right, any other business? We need to go into non-public or legal.
And personnel.
So I'll move, we go into non-public session per RSA 91A : 2, parent L, I believe it is.
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
Marcus, and yes?
I'll be yes.
Pike, yes?